Coming up in this episode of the KickCast, a pair of headphones that deliver 3D audio, 3 ways to get rid of the headache, and Left Shark steals the show. You heard that right. So sit back and relax. It's time for the KickCast. Hey everybody, it is time for another episode of the KickCast, the podcast, where we go out and find you cool crowdfunding projects, and we let you know if you should backtrack or sack them. I am Ktdata, but it does not matter who I am. Everybody hail the co-host of the KickCast, the reason people come here, the man of this half-hour show or 45-minute show on there, the man who is so devoted to being an awesome father. He will sneak his kid out of school to go to a comic convention. The one and only Drew Tyler. How are you doing today, my friend?
You can't let out that secret, but it's absolutely true. I did. On a whim, I checked my kid out of school and took them down to the con.
No one's going to hear this. It's just on the internet.
Yeah, no one knows. I told the secretary when I was checking her out, too. I was like, "Where?" Oh, no, she asked. She's like, "Dad, are we going to Comic-Con?" And I said, "What kind of a dad would I be if I got you out of school? How irresponsible would that be?" And I looked at the secretary and I winked at her and she was like, "That is such an awesome dad." And I was like,
see, I'm just saying. Like,
they get it.
I just love it. Like, seriously, if you guys ever like want to get good parenting tips, I would say come ask Drew Tyler. I mean, why don't you write like a book or a memoir?
How to be an awesome parent.
Yeah. You know?
How to tread that fine line where you can still like be your kid's best friend, but yet still beat them occasionally so that they fear you. So I could write that one.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. So
thank you. Let's do a show.
Yeah. So welcome to anybody who's just barely watching the show and going, "What's going on?"
That's what we do.
This is one of, in my opinion, one of the best shows on crowdfunding on the internet. I could be biased, but
we do rank pretty high if you check out the numbers.
Yeah. On there. So, before we go into our projects, we should hit some news. And boy, it is a big day of news because normally I would not have 4 news items. So let's just jump in.
Wait, I got 5. Look behind me.
Oh, what?
What?
Yeah.
That's my new news for decor for my office is an Indiegogo sticker. Somehow acquired from CES. I don't know how.
Yeah, it just appeared to us. So yeah.
I went dumpster diving.
Yeah,
okay.
I just hope the wife approves. All right, so let's jump into some of our first thing. So one of the greatest things about crowdfunding is people don't realize it, but it is a very, very visual platform to be marketing on. So you want to have a lot of pictures. You want to be able to have it relay your message. And Kickstarter decided, hey, let's give you some, tips on what to do. So they actually have a page on their website where you can go to and see that.
This is amazing. I mean, they show you all kinds of good tips.
How to create a great project image on there. So first part, let your personality shine. Look at that. So use your main project to brand your project and make it stand out. This is really important because this is actually how I go out and find projects. I look for interesting photos. If it looks boring and your titles looks boring, I'm probably just going to skip over it. But you look at these, I don't know what's going on. I would want to go check out these.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the one on the left is about how to be a mage. The one in the middle we were looking at is how to grow a seashell on your head. The one on the right here is if Nostradamus was real. It's a documentary.
and the other one, the one is I actually know what that is. I think that is the San Francisco pixel map.
There you go.
There, see,
images are everything.
Yeah, on there. Number 2, show what your backers what you get. That's always important. You see good product shots and stuff. There are tons and tons. And hey, I'm wearing that shirt.
Oh,
I'm actually wearing that shirt. I'm wearing that shirt.
Round 2 of that shirt, right?
Yeah. Actually. Yeah, I'm wearing that shirt.
Nice.
On there, but you can see all of these show you what you get. There are tons of tutorials out there on the internet, Drew. You can attest to this on how to take good product shots, right?
Yeah, and it's easy. And really, it comes down to having like specific lighting, just giving it some dynamic look that you don't get from your overhead lights that are usually in your house. So just add some lights.
Yeah. Number 3, keep it simple. You don't want to add a lot of text and stuff. And the reason why is if you notice. On this picture right here, these are not on your computer. These are actually on your iPad and stuff. And the apps that Kickstarter has built take advantage of these pictures.
Oh, and they look so good. So yeah, take advantage.
Yeah, on there. And then of course use high resolution assets. on there. So the higher the resolution, the better on there.
Right, you don't want a picture to get blown up on an iPad or something, and you shot it at like, or you have something that's like 400 pixels wide, because it's just going to get blurry. These are great examples here that they have.
Yeah, it's better to have a bigger picture than a smaller picture, because then you can at least scale down. When you scale up, that's when it looks really ugly on there. So those are some tips on how to make really good pictures. I highly suggest you do that because you will get more eyeballs. Even if they don't back it, you will have a higher chance of people watching.
Yeah, I thought that was really a great post for them to kind of explain the simplicity of pictures and how to use them. So great news.
Right. And then the second one, this is going to be a quickie. I don't even have a lower third for it. I had a lower third for the other one that I just didn't use. But the Key Tag 2 from our CES 2015 episode, for 2 episodes back on there, they are actually on Kickstarter now. They've launched, and since they've launched, they've blown past their goal. They wanted $20,000. They are at $52,000 right now with 45 days to go. So good on these guys. And like I said, I think this is a great idea. If you want to learn more about the Key Tag 2, go back and watch our CES episode, which I will add a magical YouTube link somewhere here. Yeah. Okay. So for our third piece of news,
wait, there's more?
Yes, there's more, and this is actually another project, but I think it's newsworthy. It's Exploding Kittens. It's actually a card game that involves exploding kittens.
You've probably heard of this because it has done very well and very quickly.
And you all of you are going, KT, why are you talking about a project if you're not really going to talk about a project? That is because they changed their page. They actually funded 100% within 20 minutes of launch on there. Within 1 hour of launch, they have they broke 1,000%. And now on their project, if you look at their project as I pull it up right here, they are at $5 million with 15 days ago. And if you noticed on the video, it just went up again. And then this is where they have broken a record. They have 133,103 backers as of this recording. It's probably going to be up higher than that when you hear this. And that is I think that is the site record for the most backers on one single project.
Yeah, I think it is. And 5.2 million is not too shabby.
103,105. It just went up again. So I think that is big news. So if you guys are creating projects and you're like, how do I get my project popular? Go look at the Exploding Kittens campaign, get some ideas from that, and have the guy who draws the oatmeal be on your project. That's what you need. You get it. You find that base, right? I mean, we talk about this all the time, but that's what they've done right here. Is they've found an existing base that they could quickly tie into and say, here's something else that you want. Works perfectly. Yep. And then our last news. I know I'm kind of rushing through this because we had 3 pieces or 4, 5, 4.
Lots of
news on there, and this is I've heard of it all day now. Is Fundable acquires another company called Clarity.fm, which is a mentorship service. What they do is allow you to connect to other successful entrepreneurs and mentors like Mark Cuban, Brad Feld, and Eric Ries. All of these guys have been popular. You can call them over the phone and talk to them.
So Fundable is picking up Clarity.
Yeah, so you may have heard of Fundable because it is another crowdfunding project, but they also launched a umbrella system called startups.co on there, startups.co, and they are actually now making their whole entire site a one-stop shop for your startup. So you can find investors there, you can find customers there, you can launch your product there, and they're I think they're still going to try to keep doing the crowdfunding, but that's only a piece of what they are looking to do. So if you're interested, if you have your idea and you're like, well, how do I go into a business and stuff, you may want to check up startups.co, where they will have resources to help you. They have tons of tools. I mean, they acquired another company recently too called LaunchRock.
Yeah, I was going to say they grabbed LaunchRock.
Yeah, that helps you make those landing pages where you sign up your email here and you'll hear from us soon.
I've actually talked to a lot of people that are planning on or about ready to start their fundraising projects in the near future. But the one thing our conversation always turns to is, where's your base? Who are you like getting into getting in the ready, so that there's a starting line when you say launch, you're ready to go. And I often point them to Launch Rock, because it's that perfect page to say, for now, go here, give us your number, and we'll contact you as soon as you're able to donate through our Kickstarter or Indiegogo or back us. So LaunchRock is something I push that one pretty heavy. It's a great way to grab emails.
All right. So, Drew, that's all the news that we had. We hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys missed anything, head on over to kickcast.net, look in the show notes for episode 60, and you will see all the stuff there. All right, so let's jump into our projects, shall we?
Yay!
Drew, you know this. Everybody at home knows this. I am a huge audiophile. I love
audiophile.
Headphones.
Right.
Like right next to me, I have probably 6 to 7 to 10 headphones just right next to me.
I think those are just your over the ears. You have probably another dozen or 40 buds and other kinds. Yes. You are a connoisseur.
Yes, I have a lot of headphones on here, but one thing none of my headphones do is do 3D audio. So you're going, okay, what in the world are you talking about 3D audio?
Yeah, because I would say I have headphones that do 3D or 5.1 surround, right?
Yeah, so imagine surround sound with you, but when you have surround sound speakers, you turn your head. You still can tell. You turn your head to your right, you can still hear whatever's coming forward to you on your left ear, right? Instead of just turning. When you wear headphones, even if I look this way, it still sounds like Drew's talking towards me, even though the monitor is to my left on here.
Right.
Our first project of the night is called the Neo, and
say it isn't so, Mr. Anderson.
Yes. And they claim to be the first smart 3D audio headphones. So what they do that is different from everything else is it creates a full artificial 360-degree environment on there. So in the headphones themselves, they have these motion sensors and can detect where your ears are and detect the motion on there and project the sound. So it feels like when you turn, where's the cool picture right here? So when you turn your head, you can tell that, oh, that's coming from my left, instead of just kind of being simply when you turn your heads, it looks like you're still looking forward on there. So how it works is there's actually an app. It uses signal processing to give you that directionality on there with the motion sensors that give the data back on there, and it gives you the immersive sound. One drawback with this, though, is their app is only on iOS. There's no PC port, no Android port, no Mac port, just on iOS right now. That is actually a little bit of a drawback for me. It runs Bluetooth, of course, on there, and it can also you can plug in your traditional 3.5 cable. So, Drew, I know you're a fan of headphones too, until somebody jacked yours.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm kind of sad because my sweet nice Soul Republics got jacked the other day. So what do I think about the Neos? I like the idea. I like the idea of having the surround sound that kind of turns with you. I don't mind that it's only iOS. I mean, that's where I would watch my movies anyway, and that's when you'd be, turning your head or doing that. I guess I'm curious. I would love to try them because I feel like a motion sensor. I don't know. You almost have to put a little bit of speed or something more motion in it than usual. Because imagine you'd be subtle.
They said that this is the sensors are sensitive enough to detect just micro movements, because that's actually what your head is doing. Is when you're actually watching something,
right.
Your head slowly makes micro movements and to visually see where something is, and it uses that information in your brain to actually calculate where it is. So it's kind of like how 3D works, where you one eye seeing another thing and it kind of combines and you get that image that pops out.
Right.
Except for sound on here.
I'm hopeful. I think it'd be a very fun thing to sample and try. Looks like they have gone all out and they've got more than a prototype. I mean, they're pretty far in the process, I believe. Their video was hilarious.
Yes, one of the better Kickstarter videos out there. So if you want tips on how to make a good Kickstarter video, go watch theirs.
It was really it was really well produced. The guy, the hostess with the mostest, that guy that went through the whole thing, he was interesting. He starts off the video looking this way, and then as soon as you hit play, he's just like,
Yeah. The
Super
funny
sexy.
thing is, I'm wondering if they hired him or if he actually works on the team. I think they hired him.
I think they hired him. I don't think he's in the team picture, but he delivered, right? Because he had this kind of energy that I'm not sure exists. Or, it's hard to find. I guess it's not natural.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm going to track it. I'm going to watch where it goes. I have plenty of headphones. I think this would be certainly something that I would add to my arsenal. I watch a lot of movies, but probably not so many that I'd feel like, oh, I want to feel the 3D. But these would work really well with, the virtual reality, the VR helmets, AR, that kind of stuff. So
that's supposedly where they're going after once they get Android and PC on there. And then for me, it's a track because it is only iOS on there. And sadly enough, I actually don't watch that many movies on my iPad. And I don't have an iPhone anymore on there. And the reason why is because when I'm watching movies, I don't want, the small screen. I want the full immersive experience. So I'm usually watching on my desktop or on my laptop, which have larger screens, so I can feel a little bit more of that movie-like feel on there. So honestly, if they actually had PC or Windows Mac support on there, this would have been a back for me. But since it's only iOS right now, it's just a track because they cannot guarantee that they're going to be able to make an Android version, a Windows version, or a Mac version, or even versions for the Oculus. Like this combined with an Oculus, I think that would be killer.
It'll come. I bet we'll see it shortly in a year or so.
And of course, me being an audiophile, I am really skeptical until I can actually hear them on there. And I don't know how we missed their booth at CES because they were showing these. They debuted these at CES, and how in the world did we miss it?
No, we were all over that place too
in the giant thing. So that is the Neo. And now for our next project of the night.
Let's move it forward.
So Drew, I didn't know this, but did you know there was a large athletic event that just recently happened in the United States?
I missed the entire thing. In fact, I had a dinner at family's house and nobody talked football at all through the entire dinner. I could not believe it. It was surprising.
I don't think we're allowed to say the name of it or they could sue us.
Oh, it's true.
There. So there's a large football thing that happens on the first day of the week in the United States, if you follow that calendar, or it could be the last day of the week, depending on what calendar you're looking on. But
it's the day I go to church. That's what it is.
Yeah. And it's nationally televised, and they always have a show in the middle, in between sessions that they're going on. And this time it had Katy Perry on there.
Yes. You and I know a guy that produces a lot of that show.
What?
Yeah.
Really? Seriously?
The halftime show?
Yeah.
You what?
What?
Our buddy Rustin goes down there and he does that for a couple of weeks. He puts the whole thing together and he handles everybody that's not Katy Perry, basically.
That was him?
Yeah, well, he's like not choreographing, but choosing all of the teams that come in from that state or wherever they're at for the Super Bowl, and he's like the logistics guy, making sure that everybody gets out on the field on time and they're all in the right place, doing the right thing. Anyway, we got cool friends.
Wow.
Yeah.
Again, the degrees of Drew. 1 degree of Drew, and somehow we're at the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Insane.
This guy's he's amazing. He's amazing at what he does. So that takes us to our second project here. The only thing that I heard about the entire game that I don't know if we could say the word, but the only thing that I heard about it or saw tweeted or really that like stuck for me, other than the fact that apparently somebody threw something they should have just handed off. Again, I don't know sports. I don't speak sports, but that's what I gathered. That and Left Shark. So here's our second project of the night, the halftime shark suit. No more than like a day after the big game, somebody's come up with a brilliant idea to sell and offer shark suits in the likeness of the left shark. Now, the story here is, as I've gathered from my consumption, and I have not seen it other than the GIFs that are going around, or GIFs, if you will.
We're going to start controversy with that, Drew.
That's right. Is that Katy Perry's dancing in the middle, and you have two sharks of these like cartoonish type of, I don't even know, like, they're just cartoonish dancing sharks. But the one on the left just did not have any rhythm, was not even synced up with the music or hardly anything. It looked like he was having a real bad day, and so people quickly started saying that I'm left sharking it, or they just refer to themselves as left shark, or things aren't going well, so it's left shark, or you're just doing your own thing even and you're left shark. So that's my takeaway from it. So here in our second project, you can, for $5, you can get a sticker of left shark, stick it wherever you want. For $15, you get a template, so you can create your own shark suit just like his. This is awesome. We're like 2 days away from that game, and they've already sold out of their super early bird and their early bird. And now for $89, you can pick up your own pre-ordered, shipping included, your own shark suit. The full retail is going to be $99, so you still are getting quite a discount. But that, to me, that is hilarious. I love the sticker. I would back for the sticker, because that's a meme that's not. It's going to be long enough that people will recognize it if you put that sticker anywhere on your car or on your laptop or something. But I don't think that it's going to be picked up by so many people. So that would be a unique sticker and a fantastic way to celebrate. There you are. I love the sticker.
I want the suit.
And I
want the suit.
And you were saying earlier that you could switch a whole show wearing that suit.
Yes. If I got this suit, I would do an entire KickCast wearing this shark suit. Why not?
That would be awesome.
Why not?
That would be. Let's just get the template. I'll sew it up for you. I can sew.
You can sew?
I just want to know how you're going to switch with these hands. Beep, 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 beep,
I'll figure something out. So the funny thing is, they actually went and found one of these guys, and the guy's like, yeah, the visibility in those suits, horrible. So I can't imagine why somebody could be offering them on them. But I want one of these suits.
I just want a sticker. So for me, it's a back. I'm back into the sticker level.
Yeah, and
as we speak.
And it would be cool if I could meet Katy Perry too. But
yeah, right.
That would be a nice stretch goal, right?
I was gonna say that should be a stretch goal, because I'm not sure it's at.
So this one is a back for me, because I really want this suit, and I have to look at my funds on there. But if I had seen it at $60, I would have jumped in without thinking. 89 is a little bit more, but hey, people spend more on costumes all the time. So if it looks just like that, and what's good about this?
I could cosplay with this thing, right?
Yeah. The one thing that we're actually bearing on the lead is that the reason why the price is actually so high is he's taking some of this money and actually donating it to the World Wildlife Fund on there. So to help that. So that's why I like this.
He's a good-hearted guy.
It's going for a good cause.
Yeah, very much into environmentalism and nonprofit.
Because I will tell you, there is actually a clothing store out there right now who's doing a social media campaign on saying, hey, should we make this? And they've been getting a lot of response. I have a feeling they're not going to be donating some of the money for it, and it might even be more expensive, because I looked at the prices of their shirts, and I don't know why anybody would pay $48 for a button-up shirt. Actually, no, $84. Not $48, $84. So that is the halftime shark suit.
I love it.
I love it. I'm still debating if I want to back it or not. And
just get a sticker with me. We can still support.
I want the suit. I would wear this to Nerdtacular. This would be my cosplay at Nerdtacular.
Yes, you would.
On there. And I would wear it for Halloween too. Why not? I'd wash it, of course. On there. All right. So our last project of the night is this. This is your guys' choice. This one by a landslide when I pulled people on what they wanted to be the last project on there. Drew, do you ever suffer from headaches?
I do.
Migraines?
I get headaches. Yeah. When I don't eat.
Do you have stress?
I have stress every day. Yes.
Okay. So our final project of the night is claiming that it can actually get rid of any headache, migraines, and stress in a few minutes on there. So our project is actually called the Head Dock, and it is actually a device that is supposed to get rid of this by using red light therapy, negative ions, and vibration technologies to kind of press your stress away. That's the tagline of there. So it's a device that has a little infrared light at the tip, and then below it there's a little vent that sprays out negative ions on there, and then you can actually put a little attachment on there and then put it on your head, and it should vibrate and kind of like a massage to help massage your stress away on there. So they put these three technologies together on there into one device. It's run by USB, or you can charge it by USB on there, and you can last several hours. And they suggest that you run it for 10 to 15 minutes for best results, up to an hour if you need to. I think there's an attachment where you can put a headband on it and then just stick it right there.
I was gonna say, yeah, you'd have to get tired, yeah.
On there, and then for the red light, they suggest about 5 to 6 minutes on that, on there, and then so people are going like, "What? This is a real thing?" So red light therapy is supposedly to help your skin cells start regenerating. The frequency of the light penetrates through your skin and
goes deeper.
Should help it stimulate the regeneration process, so it makes you look younger. There's a lot of beauty salons and stuff that are offering this to, you know, make sure you age gracefully.
Yeah. Well, and for just infrared for healing sore muscles. Every time I would go to my, what do they call these people? Physical therapist for rehabbing my shoulder last couple of months. It was either they would ice it or they'd use this little like red infrared light to go deeper into the tissues and try to heal it.
Did it help?
So, and it did. It was strange because it's like this thing you can't see, but it's like you're feeling it, but not on the skin level. It was effective. That one was interesting.
Yeah, and negative ions, people are probably like, how does that work? So imagine the smell right after a thunderstorm and it just smells fresh, you know, or when you're next to the beach and stuff, those unique smells, those have a lot of negative ions because of how the motion stuff is causing it. And you get negative ions by electrons moving between molecules and stuff. So this actually generates negative ions to kind of help lower your stress levels on there. And of course the vibrating portion, you know, it's like a massage, kind of massaging your head, you know, massaging. I do that from time to time, is I massage my head a little bit when, you know, my eyes start hurting and everything on there. So these three technologies put together to kind of help, you know, make you feel better. What do you think about this?
What do I like altogether? It's kind of quacky, but I think it's only because of the negative ions. I know what it smells like, but I can't see it, and so I feel like something I can't. So much going on that I can't see. I don't know. There's something better about like, oh, this has 800 milligrams of ibuprofen. That might help me, you know, because it's going inside of me. Whereas like, let me just do this for a minute. Oh yeah, I don't know. I'd have to see it to believe it, I think. Yeah, honestly.
So for me, this is actually a track on there, this is rarity where both of my projects I end up seeing a track instead of a back.
That's true.
And I'm just a little skeptical about this. They said they did a lot of research, and these are 3 popular technologies that are supposed to help on there. And I've you know, I did a quick lit search on them.
Yeah, a little due diligence.
And a lot of the research that I saw came up inconclusive. Yeah, most of them are like, we need to do more studies. You know, we saw maybe a slight decrease in stress levels with the negative ions on there.
Which could also be somewhat placebo, maybe.
Yeah, like I said, it could be a placebo effect. It could be not. But there's like, we need more data on this, and this is how science works. You know, you have to keep iterating on there. So they're getting on there. Yeah, I'm a little skeptical on it, but you know, if it helps you, more power to you, right there. So that's why this is a track.
Yeah, for me, it's a track as well. If you feel like this is something that you can believe in, you know, then it's probably going to work better for you than somebody that's already skeptical when they pick it up. So it's a track for me. I don't know that I get headaches long enough or often enough that it would warrant having a special utensil tool. Like I can usually get. Yeah. I actually create my own headaches because I don't eat. Yeah. Or drink.
I usually, like, when I'm that stressed, I'm like, let's record a podcast. That will make me feel better.
That is my unwinding. We could just make a little campaign. If you feel stressed or have anxiety, start a podcast with us.
Yeah.
Just call us up. We'll podcast with you. We'll all relax.
You know? We don't even have to publish it. We'll just, you know, chill and dock out. You know. So that's all our projects tonight. And normally I would start wrapping up the show, Drew, but we decided to introduce a brand new segment on there. So let us know if you like this or not. But you notice most of the projects we do, we hardly ever do sacks on there. And the reason that happens is because I look through a lot of projects, and there are just so many good ones where I'm like, I'd rather show the good one than show one that I say sack.
Right, exactly. Right, give some people some boost and to talk about what's working, and so we don't spend a whole lot of time talking about, you know, why did you do this? But we're gonna try and squeeze a couple in.
Yeah, so we're gonna squeeze these in real quick. on there. This one was actually sent in by Richard Mulholland. If I said your name wrong, I apologize. He tweeted this to me a couple of days ago, and it is an all-in-one multifunctional hiker's backpack, Midgard.
Midgard.
You know, backpack could actually be pretty good. I did the math; it converts to like $50 from kroners on there. But the reason why it got the sack from me is if you look, he took pictures of his sketchbook on there, and he goes through and kind of gives you sketches of them.
It was almost like he was too quickly thought out, like too quickly executed. Like, oh wait, I put this in my book. I'll take a picture.
Yeah, and then let's go throw that onto Kickstarter.
Yeah, see what gets. Now, at some level, that's I don't know what to say. Like that feels like a good step to take, but I guess.
But there's not enough plans on here.
Yeah,
like he has ideas for the product, but nothing in this project says, this is what I'm going to do when I get your money. This is what it's going to be used for. Pretty much in his risks and challenges, there will be obstacles on the way for sure, but we'll never know until we have embarked on the journey first.
Wow. This is, I don't think this guy knows what the journey is.
Yeah, he has no plan. Like he can describe all the bags he wants to make, but he has no manufacturers, nothing like that. No video on there. And he's asking for 30,000 kroner, which is, I have no idea. On there, which is like $3,000, I think. Oh,
but she could probably make one. I'm interested. He's got a sleeping bag built into this. Sweet.
Yeah,
that's so all that goes in your backpack. No room for packing anything because the sleeping bag's already in there.
Yeah, on there. So, plan your project. Plan your project.
There's even the middle of one of those pictures. I think it says top secret, but you can only see the top part of it. It looks like it's a made up stamp of top secret somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
he drew the marker.
That's one that is interesting. I hope it wasn't the creator that sent you the tweet.
No, it's the Richard specifically said this could be a sack of the week. So.
Oh, good. Okay, because I was like, yeah. No, this other sack that you had.
Oh, this one's terrible. This is I'll tell you, I have a pet peeve with people on the internet who claim to be geeks on there. You've probably heard this before, Drew. You say the words, I want to get a new computer. The next words from many, many geeks are, you should build your own. It will be cheaper.
Yes, lots and lots of, yes.
On there. And what happens is that in this day of age, it's not cheaper. I kid you not. Unless you want to search for years and years and years, most of the time these mid-range to large manufacturers get a better price break discount because they buy like 3 gazillion of each part. On there. But this is Chris's custom built PCs, and I can tell these are two young guys who obviously are, big gamers, probably computer geeks. They want to make a website that will sell you custom built PCs on here.
In a variety of price brackets.
Yeah. I think that's great. What's terrible is their video. One of the guys doesn't even look like he wants to be there.
Come on, man.
And then the other one looks like he filmed it in like 10 minutes to put it up. They say they want to open a website. There's no business plan. You can't even get a computer from any of the tiers. They don't show any other examples on what they can build. They just say, whatever your needs are, we'll build it for you.
Yeah.
And they want $7,000 to start.
Yeah, to build a website, which I get that. I'm working on one right now. It's going to cost us $25,000 to get built for the university. That makes sense because it's totally custom. But I don't know if they realize this, but I could build a website for them for like $8 a month on Squarespace, and they could still sell all their parts and pieces. And this is definitely a sack. I think they just haven't thought it through enough. I wish them luck.
Get a business plan first before you start trying to find money.
Find somebody that wants to be there.
Yeah, you might want to do a little bit of a video on there. So those are our sacks of the week. If you guys have any projects where you're like, this is not going to work, and you want to let us know, we'll do quick deconstructions of these. We won't go into full detail on them. You can send it to us, send it to KickCast@ktdata.net, or you can leave it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/KickCast, or on Twitter @Night20 for that beautiful man over there, @KTData for me, or @KickCast for the show.
And do us a favor while you're out and about. We would love to get your reviews on our iTunes page. Let people know what you think about the show, so that as they're looking for their podcast fix, that they'll take your word for it. We have some pretty good ones on there.
Yes,
and
you should go. So I don't say this a lot. You can subscribe on YouTube, on iTunes, on Stitcher, soon to be on TuneIn Radio on there, so you could listen to us on your Amazon Echo. If you
never miss a moment.
Yes, you can hear all of it on there. Subscribe and leave reviews on these various sites. We would totally appreciate it. And if I ever meet you in real life and you left a review, I will give you a hug.
Sold.
On there. So, of course, you got all our social media. If even if you got non-sackable projects, you got projects you want to share, send them our way that way too. And of course, we do record live. When's our next show, Drew?
2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today, which is going to be February 17th. February 17th, 2014. And you can watch that live at live.kickcast.net. There's a full chat room. Thank you, Aperture Science and DMAX, for being in the chat room and chatting. I always appreciate that. We love talking to you guys.
Yes.
Drew, do you got anything to plug before I go?
I am this close to launching our Kickstarter for a documentary, so I'll plug that in about 2 weeks, and we'll be talking soon about a Kickstarter about sheep, goats, and steers. It's going to be awesome.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys enjoy, and if you want more CES stuff, if you liked our CES episode, videos of that are slowly getting published out at ktdata.net. So, my friends, thank you all for being here. Drew, thank you for being here. I love you, man. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye.